Film Flaga jest dość wyjątkowy, opowiada też o wyjątkowych wydarzeniach i będę tutaj chciał zadać pytanie Pjerinowi o to, właściwie dlaczego? Dlaczego ten film, który za chwilę obejrzymy, powstał o tym wydarzeniu? Dlaczego ono jest unikalne i dlaczego było warto je w taki sposób sekranizować?
First of all, dziękuję, thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here today in Gdynia, in this event, and talk about our history and about what was happening in Albania during the communist dictatorship. Why we choose the Spatch Uprising? First of all, the Spatch Uprising was the most important uprising which was happening inside a prison in Albania during the communist past. Spatch is a small spot in one of the most remote regions of Albania. It's inside the mountains and still today is very difficult to reach it. So basically Spatch was chosen by the government because there were some mines over there, and so they decided to open a labor camp, and the convicts, the prisoners, political prisoners, had to go there and to dig in mines. So the conditions were very bad, and in the end of the 60s the camp was opened. And so the convicts go to the uprising because the conditions, they had to work in 3 turns. The most difficult turn was the 3rd one because they had to work during the nights, and so they were in very difficult times, missing even food during the time when they were working over there, and so this is how it starts. So now I'm not saying a lot of details about the fact because you will have the possibility to see it by the movie. But why we choose the uprising of Spatch is because was maybe one of the highest moments of the oppositions, of the reactions against the communist dictatorship in Albania. Also, it was maybe one of the most mythologized things or facts which we had from the past, and so we also wanted to check all the historical facts also with the real testimony of the witness, which was the former political prisoner, Mr. Kadry. The third important thing which we wanted to do something, it was about the youngsters. We want to engage, to involve the youngsters with an authentic history of Albania, and especially with the youngsters of that region, which maybe knew something about the history because maybe they heard about it in their families or also in their school, but we wanted them to do the same things which were doing during the time, and so to reflect after with them about this fact and to ask them if it was a good thing, the uprising against the regime, if it was a bad thing, or to ask them in which shoes they want to stay. And yes, these are the main 3 points which we were focused during our job during the shootings of the movie.
So yes, Pjerin, we have this introduction, why Spatch, but can you tell us more about like the challenges you needed to overcome during the production of it? And I mean broad challenges. What is like to do a historical documentary in Albania?
First of all, Albania starts to face off with the communist past, especially in the last 10 or 12 years. If we compare it with your country, maybe, or with the other countries, in the Eastern Europe, maybe we are a little bit late, but we have to go faster. So in terms of that, there were a lot of challenges. First, it's still today a challenge for the experts, for the historians to have a real access in the archives, national archives, which are engaged in an authority to treat the former communist files of the secret state police, which was created in 2015. And in all these years, they're doing a good job for sure, but not always for everybody it's possible to go and to dig in. So, as I told you in the beginning, what we knew from the Spatch uprising was just from the testimonies of the witnesses, but not from the archival documents. And so everybody tells their version of the story. It looks like everybody was there, and it looks like everybody was the main character of the story. Digging in the archives, studying the documents, gave to us a very clear point of view of the Spatch uprising. It was not easy because the communist time, it was finished just 30 years ago in the 90s, 34 years ago, and still people are involved on that. So when we cross the documents, you have to see their names, people, and facts which can compromise people which are still somewhere in charge. This is, in my opinion, this is the biggest challenge which we have today in Albania, but maybe not just in Albania. This is everywhere in the eastern countries in Europe. And we faced off a lot of times, not just with this history, but with a lot of histories which we had from the past. And I think that Albania today is not prepared to face off with this kind of facts. Maybe today we have people which our history emphasize them like heroes, but if you go inside the real facts, maybe we will see things which are not the same which we knew today.
If you are the only one, guys, that you are like trying to deal with this thing, like doing the proper research and proper communication, or maybe there is something similar in Albania, like Polish National Institute of National Remembrance?
No, we are not alone in this stance. There are different institutions today in Albania which are dealing with the communist time. We are the first memorial which were opened in Albania in 2014, the place where actually I'm working. It's based in Shkodër, which is a city in the north of the country. And Shkodër was the most persecuted city, also the place or the region when the reaction was higher against the communists. Also, we have two national institutes. The first one is the Institution for the Study of the Crimes and the Consequences of the Communism, which was created by the Parliament of Albania in 2012 or 13, if I'm not wrong. And the second one, which is a national one also, is the Authority for the Treatment of the Former files of the secret state police, which was opened 2015. Also, there are different NGOs which are involved on that period. The most important one is IDMC. Maybe you mentioned it. And there are some museums around the country, most of them based in Tirana, in the capital city. There are Bunker 1, Bunker 2, which are some former bunkers which were used by the communist government, and today they are museums with some expositions against the regime, and also the House of Leaves, which is the museum dedicated to the former secret state police. There are some spots which are actually not musealized, like Spać, for example, the former prison camp. There are some barracks which are still over there, the structure, but a lot of from the old structure was lost. And also there is the former deportation camp in Tepelena in the southern Albania. These are the two main spots potentially which can be musealized in the future, because I know there are different projects, but unfortunately they are going very, very slow in this stance. And the last one, which is a good source for us, they are the testimonies of the witnesses, because a lot of witnesses, which former political prisoners, which were in prison, wrote books about their personal history.
Pjerin, you mentioned that a lot of testimonies, a lot of oral history witnesses that were printed out and are available, but like who is mostly engaged with talking with the people, with publishing them?
The first one is the institution of the study of the crimes of the consequences of communism, which are collecting oral histories by the former political prisoners. And the second, if I can say, there are maybe the publishers which are interested on their history and to publish their history as a book.